From a flicker of candlelight in 1789 to the glare of modern screens in the West Wing, every president has held the pen. Executive orders not passed by Congress, but etched into law by command. Some shaped history. Some sparked controversy. Others were forgotten. Until now. This is where we break them down. Every signature, every shift in power, every consequence still felt today. From Washington to Biden, welcome to Executive Order Watch.
Democracy, we live for it. For democracy, we fight for it. For democracy, we've died for it. And for democracy, we watch it. This is Executive Order Watch.
My fellow Americans, let me talk to you for a moment about 2015, a year that tested our hearts, expanded our conscience, and called on us once again to define what kind of nation we want to be. By 2015, I had been in this office for 6 years. I knew the clock was ticking. I knew every decision mattered. And I knew that if we were going to keep pushing forward, we'd have to do it with conviction, not just consensus. That year, I governed not with hesitation, but with resolve, not waiting on a Congress locked in gridlock, but acting where I could to make life better for the American people. On the world stage, 2015 was a pivotal year globally. After years of back-channel negotiations, we reached the Iran nuclear deal, a historic agreement that cut off every path Iran had to a nuclear weapon. Critics said it was risky. I said diplomacy backed by strength is how you prevent another war in the Middle East. That agreement made the world safer, and we didn't fire a single shot. Later that year, in Paris, the world came together to confront climate change. We signed the Paris Agreement, not just a document, but a signal to future generations that America would lead on clean energy, on sustainability, on protecting this planet we all share. It was never about politics. It was about legacy. Not mine, but the Earth's. Here at home in 2015, love won. The Supreme Court affirmed that same-sex couples have a constitutional right to marry. When that ruling came down, I thought of all the families who fought, who hoped, who waited. That night, we lit the White House in rainbow lights. And I meant every word when I said, when all Americans are treated as equal, we are all more free. But 2015 wasn't only joy, it was heartbreak too. We lost 9 souls in Charleston, South Carolina, murdered in a church, in a sacred place of peace and worship. I stood in that pulpit and I sang Amazing Grace because words alone weren't enough. We had to feel it. We had to grieve together. We had to confront the ugliness of racism, not as history, but as a present wound. There were protests, cries for justice in Baltimore and beyond. And I heard those cries. I didn't turn away. We expanded community policing efforts, launched reforms, and kept pushing through my brother's keeper so young men of color could know their lives mattered. And all the while, we kept climbing back economically. Unemployment hit a 7-year low. The stock market was strong. Millions had gained health care. The Affordable Care Act was working, and I was proud of that. How I governed. That year, I didn't waste time waiting for permission to act. When Congress couldn't or wouldn't move, I used my pen and my authority to push this country forward. Through executive action, I worked to strengthen cybersecurity, promote sustainable development, advance education and opportunity, and protect the environment. I wasn't trying to bypass democracy. I was protecting it, preserving momentum, doing the job I was elected to do. Now, I want to walk you through the decisions made from that desk in the Oval, executive orders that shaped the direction of this nation. Up next, a look at the top 10 executive orders of 2015, the choices, the consequences, the legacy, because policy is paper until it becomes action, and action, when grounded in justice, has the power to bend history. Executive Order 13,687 imposing additional sanctions. With respect to North Korea on January 2nd, 2015, Executive Order 13,688 federal support for local law enforcement equipment acquisition on January 16th, 2015. Executive Order 13,689 enhancing coordination of national efforts in the Arctic on January 21st, 2015. Executive Order 13,690, establishing a federal flood risk management standard and a process for further soliciting and considering stakeholder input on January 30th, 2015. Executive Order 13691, promoting private sector cybersecurity information sharing on February 13th, 2015. Executive Order 13692, blocking property and suspending entry of certain persons contributing to the situation in Venezuela on March 8th, 2015. Executive Order 13693, planning for federal sustainability in the next decade on March 19th, 2015. Executive Order 13,694, blocking the property of certain persons engaging in significant malicious cyber-enabled activities on April 1, 2015. Executive Order 13,695, termination of emergency with respect to the risk of nuclear proliferation created by the accumulation of a large volume of weapons-usable fissile material in the territory of the Russian Federation on May 26, 2015. Executive Order 13696, 2015 amendments to the Manual for Courts-Martial, United States on June 17, 2015. Executive Order 13697, amendment to Executive Order 11155, awards for special capability in career and technical education on June 22, 2015. Executive Order 13698, hostage recovery activities on June 24, 2015. Executive Order 13,699, establishing the Advisory Board on Toxic Substances and Worker Health on June 26, 2015. Executive Order 13,700, establishing an emergency board to investigate disputes between New Jersey Transit Rail and certain of its employees represented by certain labor organizations on July 15, 2015. Executive Order 13,701, delegation of certain authorities and assignment of certain functions under the Bipartisan Congressional Trade Priorities and Accountability Act of 2015 on July 17, 2015. Executive Order 13702, creating a National Strategic Computing Initiative on July 29, 2015. Executive Order 13703, implementing the National HIV/AIDS Strategy for the United States for 2015 to 2020 on July 30th, 2015. Executive Order 13704, Presidential Innovation Fellows Program on August 17, 2015. Executive Order 13,705, designating the International Renewable Energy Agency as a public international organization entitled to enjoy certain privileges, exemptions, and immunities on September 3rd, 2015. Executive Order 13,706, establishing paid sick leave for federal contractors on September 7th, 2015. Executive Order 13,707, using behavioral science insights to better serve the American people on September 15th, 2015. Executive Order 13,708, continuance or reestablishment of certain federal advisory committees on September 30, 2015. Executive Order 13,709, National Security Medal on October 2nd, 2015. Executive Order 13,710, termination of emergency with respect to the actions and policies of former Liberian President Charles Taylor on November 12th, 2015. Executive Order 13,711, establishing an emergency board to investigate disputes between New Jersey Transit Rail and certain of its employees represented by certain labor organizations on November 12th, 2015. Executive Order 13712, blocking property of certain persons, contributing to the situation in Burundi on November 22nd, 2015. Executive Order 13713, half-day closing of executive departments and agencies of the federal government on Thursday, December 24, 2015, on December 11, 2015. Executive Order 13714, strengthening the senior executive service on December 15, 2015. Executive Order 13715, adjustments of certain rates of pay on December 18, 2015.
Pauline's Pizza, where we deliver happiness one slice at a time. What's your craving today? Yeah, hi. Is Seymour there?
Oh, Seymour. I think he might be busy making our special pies. But hey, why not swing by the pizzeria? We've got a pie with your name on it. Anything else I can help you with?
I was looking for Seymour Butts.
Ah, I see. Well, if you're looking for Seymour Butts, he might be hiding behind a pepperoni slice. Anything else I can do for you today?
No, that's it.
Hi, I'm Terrence, a marketing professional with a passion for helping your business grow smarter and faster. Here at DaBomb Digital Media, based right here in Atlanta, Georgia, we specialize in bringing your vision to life. Whether you're launching your first website or reimagining your entire digital presence, we've got you covered. From modern website design and search engine optimization to setting up your own AI-powered agency tools, we deliver innovative solutions that keep you ahead of the curve. Ready to unlock your business's full potential? Let's build something remarkable together. For more information, visit our YouTube channel. Just search DaBomb Digital Media on YouTube and start exploring tips, success stories, and everything you need to elevate your brand.
15.
Folks, let's talk about the year 2015, a year where President Barack Obama made some of the boldest moves of his presidency. And let me tell you, these weren't just ceremonial signatures or symbolic gestures. These executive orders, they had teeth, they carried weight, and they reflected a president who knew time was short, but the mission was far from over. How the executive orders affected. That year, 2015, wasn't about waiting on Congress. It was about acting where the law allowed, where the people demanded, and where the moment required it. Let's start with federal workers. Obama signed EO 13706, giving paid sick leave to federal contractors. For the first time, hundreds of thousands of American workers, folks cleaning federal buildings, guarding our facilities, had the right to take a sick day without losing pay. That changed lives right away. And today, it's the groundwork for expanded leave policies across the country. On the climate front, Executive Order 13693 set ambitious targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions across federal agencies. It wasn't just good for the planet, it saved the taxpayer money and moved the largest energy-consuming institution in the country into the future. That order reshaped procurement, construction, fleet vehicles, you name it. The government started walking the walk. Cybersecurity, EO 13694, gave us new power to sanction foreign hackers, a direct answer to threats that had been growing year by year. That same year, Executive Order 13691 encouraged private sector info sharing, laying the foundation for the cyber defense networks we depend on now. In 2015, Obama made cybersecurity a priority, not a press release. And justice, Executive Order 13,688 restricted the transfer of military-grade weapons to local police departments. That wasn't an easy move, but it was the right one. After Ferguson, after Baltimore, the country was watching. And Obama responded, not with delay, but with decisive action to bridge the divide between citizens and those who serve them. He also signed EO 13707, using behavioral science to help Americans make better choices, whether it was applying for financial aid, accessing health care, or planning for retirement. Sounds small, but this changed how agencies serve people. It made government smarter. He even signed Executive Order 13702, creating the National Strategic Computing Initiative, investing in high-performance computing, paving the way for artificial intelligence breakthroughs. That's 2015, shaping 2025 and beyond. Major events that year, global and domestic now, let's not forget. 2015 wasn't just shaped by orders. It was a year of headlines, heartbreak, and hope. The Iran nuclear deal was signed. Years of diplomacy, hard-nosed negotiation, and in the end, nuclear weapons kept out of the hands of Iran. That was possible in part because of the framework laid out by sanctions orders and executive coordination that gave diplomacy real leverage. At COP21 in Paris, the U.S. stood tall thanks to groundwork laid by Obama's executive climate policies. America didn't just participate, we led. Back home, marriage equality became the law of the land. And while that came from the Supreme Court, Obama used his executive power to ensure federal agencies protected those rights from day one. Tragedy struck in Charleston, and Obama sang Amazing Grace. Gun violence and racial injustice once again tore at the seams of this nation. And while legislative reform stalled, Obama acted where he could on data, police reform, and criminal justice coordination. The bigger picture. So what do you call a year like that? A year where we expanded civil rights, where we fought cyber threats, where we stood for the planet, where we gave workers dignity, and where, even in the face of gridlock, the presidency did not stand still. That's 2015 under Barack Obama. And now, the top 10. Next up, we're going to break down the top 10 executive orders of that year, the big ones, what they did, why they mattered, and how they still impact our lives today. Because these weren't just pen strokes on paper, they were decisions with direction. Stay tuned. Number 1, EO13693, Planning for Federal Sustainability in the Next Decade. Signed March 19, 2015. This was a climate leadership move that pushed every federal agency to reduce emissions, cut energy use, and integrate sustainability into procurement and construction. It set binding targets for water efficiency, renewable energy use, waste reduction, and vehicle fuel efficiency. Impact: it transformed how the federal government, the nation's largest energy consumer, operated. The order inspired similar commitments at the state and corporate level. It was revoked in 2018, but its blueprint helped bring sustainability into the mainstream of American governance. Number 2, EO13706, Establishing Paid Sick Leave for Federal Contractors. Signed September 7, 2015. Obama extended workplace dignity to hundreds of thousands of workers, mandating up to 7 paid sick days per year for employees of federal contractors. Impact: it set the tone for nationwide sick leave debates. It not only improved worker health and morale, but helped reduce turnover in the contracting workforce. The private sector took notice, and local governments used it as a springboard for broader policies. Number 3, EO 13694, Blocking the Property of Certain Persons Engaging in Significant Malicious Cyber-Enabled Activities. Signed April 1, 2015. This was the first major executive action allowing the U.S. government to sanction individuals, entities, and even countries involved in cyber attacks. Impact: it became a vital diplomatic and defensive tool used later against Russian actors, Chinese IP thieves, and North Korean hackers. It marked the beginning of treating cyber threats like national security threats, not just IT issues. Number 4, EO13702, Creating a National Strategic Computing Initiative. Signed July 29, 2015. This order launched a government-wide effort to develop exascale computing and high-performance data systems, focusing on advanced modeling, AI, and massive simulations. Impact: the U.S. would go on to build some of the most powerful supercomputers in the world. This EO helped maintain America's edge in innovation and paved the way for public-private partnerships in AI, quantum computing, and national defense modeling. Number 5, EO13707, Using Behavioral Science Insights to Better Serve the American People. Signed September 15, 2015. This order directed federal agencies to apply behavioral science principles, nudges, to programs like FAFSA, veteran benefits, healthcare enrollment, and retirement savings. Impact: it removed bureaucratic friction. A single change, like pre-filled forms or simplified prompts, resulted in millions more Americans completing forms and accessing services. This EO helped make the federal government smarter and more compassionate. Number 6, EO13688, Federal Support for Local Law Enforcement Equipment Acquisition, signed January 16, 2015. In response to the public backlash after Ferguson, Obama restricted the transfer of military-grade equipment, like armored vehicles and bayonets, from federal programs to local police. Impact: this EO was a major step toward demilitarizing the police and rebuilding trust. It emphasized accountability, training, and community partnership. It also started a national dialogue about the proper role of force in American policing. Number 7, EO13703, Implementing the National HIV/AIDS Strategy for the United States for 2015 to 2020. Signed July 30, 2015. This was a reinforcement and expansion of the administration's efforts to eradicate HIV/AIDS, especially in Black, Latino, and LGBTQ+ communities. Impact: it focused resources on prevention, testing, early treatment, and stigma reduction. The results? decreased transmission rates and increased access to life-saving medications. It helped lay the foundation for future ending the HIV epidemic initiatives. Number 8, EO1 3712, blocking property of certain persons, contributing to the situation in Burundi, signed November 22, 2015. This EO imposed sanctions on individuals fueling political violence and repression in Burundi, cutting off access to U.S. property and financial systems. Impact. While targeted, the order signaled that human rights violations abroad would not go unpunished. It joined a broader strategy of smart sanctions to avoid full-scale interventions while still applying pressure on abusive regimes. Number 9, EO 13691, promoting private sector cybersecurity information sharing. Signed February 13, 2015. It established information sharing and analysis organizations, ISAOs, to enable real-time cyber threat sharing between the federal government and the private sector. Impact. It created one of the first organized frameworks for defending American companies from cyber attacks. This EO became the bedrock for public-private cooperation in digital defense, a necessity in today's threat landscape. Number 10, EO 13714, strengthening the Senior Executive Service, SES, signed December 15, 2015. This order revamped how the federal government's top civil servants are trained, evaluated, and transferred between agencies. Impact. It modernized leadership within the federal bureaucracy. This order helped develop a more dynamic, flexible executive corps capable of responding to 21st century challenges: climate, cyber, global health, and economic shifts. Closing statement. So when we talk about executive power, this is what we mean. Not rule by fiat, not overreach, but using the tools of the presidency to move this country forward when urgency demands it and when lives are on the line. That was 2015. That was President Barack Obama.
Some write history with blood, some with laws, but the sharpest stroke comes from the pen. Executive power ain't just a tool, it's a weapon wielded by the few, affecting the many. They sign it, we live it. They order it, we obey it. Here, watching, digging, remembering, from the plantation to the proclamation, from internment camps to civil rights stands, from surveillance laws to student loan draws. Order can change your life, and you might not even know it, but now you do. So stay locked in, stay woke, stay sharp. We ain't just talking about power, we tracking it. Executive Order Watch, and we ain't blinking.